Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So guys, today what we're going to talk about is campaign farming. Now, not so much about building a campaign farmer, but more about, is it worth it for you to build a specific campaign farmer? So what I mean by that are champions like Fellhound, champions like Queen Eva. Granted, Queen Eva doesn't really need much of a build. She can do chapter 12, stage 3 pretty easily, okay? But Fellhound specifically, he's one of those champions who, if you use him for campaign, you're probably going to only use him for campaign. He does have a little bit of benefits outside of campaign, a little in faction wars, and a little bit for Fire Knight if you don't have very good champions. But in reality, he's just for campaign. He's the fastest campaign farmer as well. Let's make sure RSL Helper is on the correct FPS settings. 144, basically Fellhound. If you have everything good, champions in here who have fast animations as far as their running, he does it in 5 seconds very, very consistently. And then you have champions like my Ray, who I actually use more often than Fellhound. Even though it doesn't make sense, she's just always in the campaign. She's very easy to use. I don't actually switch it out very much because I also use her in Nightmare as well. And a lot of times I just jump in, do my 7 campaign battles or my 3 campaign battles, whatever it may be, and then I'm finished. Because nowadays on my account, I don't really do campaign that much, okay? So you have the daily quests and you have the monthly quest. So the monthly quest is to do 500 campaign battles. Let's go see if I actually have it available still. I don't have it available right now, but it is to do 500 campaign battles. And I do that. I don't do a whole lot more than just doing the 500 campaign battles because at this point in my account, I do most of my champion leveling in things like Ice Golem, Spiders, and Dragon. I just have a champion soloing it. Then I have 4 food champions running alongside it. But it's 100% for sure that when you're coming up in raid, campaign is going to be one of the places that you spend majority of your time. Now, what I want to take a look at is if it's worth it to you. This isn't really something for me to tell you whether it is worth it or not, because you may think it is or you may think it's not. But I want to take a look at how much time are you actually saving if you were to build a dedicated campaign farmer. So these numbers here, this is all based on 500 runs per month, which rounds out to be 16 runs per day. Now these numbers are rounded out. If you do 500 divided by 30, so this isn't counting for February. February has 28 days, right? So it's going to be even different, but 30-day month, okay? So 16.6, rounded it just to 16, okay? So I rounded them up, could be 17 a day, doesn't really matter, but this is the number, okay? So 17, 16 per day, this is what you'd be looking at, okay? So basically, if you were doing 5-second campaign farms, you're going to be spending about 1.4 minutes a day. Now, in reverse, if you were to build a champion who was 10 seconds, okay, and then you built a Fellhound who is 5 seconds, your Fellhound is going to save you 1.4 minutes per day. Now, just for an example's sake, let's say you had a champion who was doing it in 10 seconds. So all you have to do is take 8 minutes, times it by 10, you're going to get 80 minutes. Basically, 80 minutes per month divided by 30 is going to be 2.6 minutes per day you're going to spend farming campaign. If you do the 500 runs per month, basic bare minimum, you're going to save this much time per day. Okay, that's with a 10-second campaign farmer. So obviously, if you want to figure out this math on your own, just take whatever the difference is, multiply it by this number right here, and you're going to figure out the difference. Now, 500 runs per month, you can decide, hey, is it worth it for me to build this champion to cut my run times that much? Now, obviously, most champions with A1 abilities that are AoE, so like your Ray, your Bellower, your Fellhound, tons of champions, biggin. There's a lot of champions who can farm campaign very, very quickly. Skullcrown, sub 10 seconds, okay? A lot of those champions can be used in different areas. The main thing I want to make comparison of are like upgrading from a Skullcrown, who I think is about 8 to 10 seconds, down to a Fellhound. Later on, you guys can see if it's actually worth it for you or not. Now let's take the 500 runs, go ahead and go to 1,000 runs, okay? So 1,000 runs per month is going to be 33 runs per day. Now some people run a ton of campaign, and some people, like me, don't really run that much campaign anymore. So if you did 1,000 runs per month and you had a time difference of 8 seconds, okay, so maybe you went from a 18-second farmer to a 10-second farmer, that's an 8-second difference, that's going to save you 4.4 minutes per day. Now, initially, that may not seem like a ton of time, 4.4 minutes per day, you can just walk away, not a big deal, but 133 minutes per month, take 133, times that by 12, that's 1,596 minutes per year, divided by 60 for hours, 26 hours. So you're spending basically a day per year just running campaign. That may or may not be a big deal for you. It's 100% up to you, but this is just specifically campaign. We have dungeons, we have Hydra, we have clan boss, we have arena, we have faction wars, we have so much more stuff to do in the game. So this may be too much time for you, or maybe perfectly fine. May not be a big deal whatsoever. And then you have 1 second difference. This is the big thing, okay? So if you're going from like my Ray, who did it in 7 seconds, down to Fellhound, who did it in 5 seconds, or the run I showed you guys was in 6 seconds, I'd be saving like 33 minutes per month, or basically a minute per day. Not anything drastic there whatsoever. And to be honest, my account where it's at right now, if it wasn't for the fact that I have more food than I have champions that I need to level, like at this point, I don't really have any specific champion I need to build. So at this point, I would go ahead and build a Fellhound if I didn't already have one. But besides that, I have no real reason to build a specific campaign farmer because 7 seconds, even 6 seconds is fast enough for me. I don't do enough campaign to actually justify at this point building a dedicated campaign farmer. Like I said, except for the fact that I don't really have a whole lot of champions right now that I need to build. So right now it's just building dupes, building extra copies for Hydra, so on and so forth. All right, guys, so for an example, let's say you ran 2,000 campaign runs per month. That is 66 per day. So before you had a 15-second campaign farmer, and now you want to upgrade to a Fellhound campaign farmer alone, which would be a difference of 10 seconds, okay? Fellhound being a 5-second campaign farmer. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 66 number over here, so 66 campaign runs per day on average. We're going to multiply that by 10, being the seconds difference, okay? So you have 660 seconds per day that you're running campaign. Divide that by 60 to get it into minutes. So you're going to be saving 11 minutes per day upgrading from whatever you have right now to a Fellhound campaign farmer. So 11 minutes per day sounds like a decent amount, but then again, you can just throw an RSL helper, walk away, not a big deal. Now let's take it to the month, okay? So multiply this number by 30 days being the number of days in a month, most months, 330 minutes per month. Divide that by 60, boom, 5.5 hours per month. Assuming my math is all right here, 5.5 hours per month definitely adds up. I mean, you have 5.5 hours per month of doing campaign. I'm actually kind of curious now how many hours per month is spent on raid. But to be honest, I don't know if I want to find out. I don't know if I want to find that number out because you have faction wars, you have dungeons, you have campaign, arena, clan boss, Hydra, Doom Tower, farming Doom Tower. There's a lot of stuff in raid that you spend time on, guys. But I just want to share that information. I figured it was going to be useful for some of you all because I know some people are a little more analytical when it comes to whether they should actually invest in a campaign farmer alone. It's not really something I can tell you whether it's going to be worth it or not. For me, it was worth it because whenever I was doing the Krisk tournament, whenever I was doing the more specifically Sir Nick tournament, which I did lose, unfortunately, but having that 5-second campaign farmer did help a lot. Now, granted, nowadays I go in here to Nightmare campaign, go down to stage 6, throw in my Ray, and she does Nightmare campaign perfectly fine. Granted, she is +4. Well, she used to do Nightmare campaign. Maybe I've changed the gear a little bit. We're about to see. But I don't really farm Brutal campaign that much at all anymore. So at this point, my Fellhound is kind of taking a backseat. Doesn't really get used like he used to. But when I used to use him, he was an amazing, very, very helpful investment and was definitely worth it at the time. But at this point, like I said, this point in my account's life, not really the best of help. And that'll be a thing in your account too. You'll go from doing a lot of campaign, a ton of campaign, to doing more dungeon solo content, doing less campaign, so on and so forth. So we have 27 seconds on Nightmare with Ray. She needs to be 200+ speed for this to be more consistent, I think, because she was looking a little bit sketchy a few points there. But this is the gear she's in case you're curious, she is +4. So I do kind of, utilize my +4 champion, which to be honest, for what it costed to get the +4, I don't know if it was worth it, but hey, I do use her as a nuker, use her as Minotaur, use her as farming, but hey guys, it is what it is. So there's some information, take it for what you may. Thank you all very much for watching. Let me know if you want to see anything else. Maybe even we do a video on the total time played in raid on an average because it is definitely climbing. Granted, I do have to say, this artifact instant upgrade is very, very nice as far as saving time. Watch this, guys. Watch this. Watch how fast my silver can disappear. Boom. Was like it wasn't even there, okay? 1 to 12 in an instant. No RSL clicker. Nothing. Silver, gone. No problem, guys. But with that said, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will catch you all in the next one.